Well, good afternoon, Arkansas. Happy Easter. I wish so bad that we weren't dealing with this today, but we are. Severe thunderstorm warnings are being issued now. Please let me know if the video looks good, what the audio sounds like. We've got tornado warnings to our southwest that are getting really close to the Arkansas state line, and we also have severe thunderstorm warnings I need to go over. I'm just going to clear the air now and let everybody know that I'm sick right now. I'm always sick, apparently. I've been dealing with allergies really bad, so if I sound weird, if I cough and sneeze, I'm sorry. I know that's probably not fun to listen to, but I'm going to power through today. We have two severe thunderstorm warnings. These are the first warnings of the day for the afternoon round. We've got one here in North Arkansas that includes regions of Benton County, so Gravette, Sulphur Springs, and it's due to this thunderstorm here near Colcord in Kansas, Oklahoma. You can see the hail core here. There's quite a bit of lightning in it. I'm sure there's probably a little bit of rotation as well. It does appear so. So no tornado warning on that now, but I would be surprised if the National Weather Service doesn't issue a warning for this soon. So if you live in Sulphur Springs or Gravette, far northwestern Benton County, please be aware that there's a circulation to your southwest that could produce a tornado warning soon. I don't work for the National Weather Service. They issue the warnings, so once they issue that warning, we'll go accordingly if they do. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning that includes regions of northwestern Crawford County and parts of Washington County, from West Fork over to Prairie Grove, Lincoln. If you live northwest of Mountainburg and far northwestern, that's a pretty rural part of Crawford County, of course. But if you drive on Highway 59 out of Cedarville, going up, like you're going to go up to, all the way to like Siloam or something, that's the area in question there, and that is for this region here. Strong winds are possible, perhaps some hail. No tornado warning for that. And then we have tornado warnings that don't include Scott or Polk County. So Mena is Polk County, Waldron is Scott County. You've got a tornado warning to your west in Oklahoma that had some strong rotation earlier. Not bad. Yeah, this is just west of Cove, Arkansas. So if you live in Cove, Hatfield, Mena, you're not under a tornado warning. If for some reason you're following me and you live in Smithville, Oklahoma, which is right here, there's a circulation moving into town now that could be producing a tornado at any second. So be sure you're sheltered if you're in Smithville. Well, I lied. They do have parts of Scott and Polk County included now in this tornado warning. So we're officially on the board for a tornado warning. This is the first tornado warning of the day, and unfortunately, I think this is going to be the first of many. Things have kind of evolved in the wrong direction when it comes to tornadoes today. So I do want everyone to be sheltered. If you, for some reason, if you live in Oklahoma and you follow my page is about Arkansas weather, but if you live in Oklahoma, this is southeastern LaFleur, I think. Yeah, southeastern LaFleur County in Oklahoma. I don't know what this county is. Let me just look at it real quick, because never know, somebody might be watching. But definitely if you live in northern sections of Polk County, so if you live north of Hatfield, northwest of Mena, let's just pull out the map real quick and we'll talk about it. And then we'll go up and check on those north storms again. So, excuse me, if you live in Rich Mountain, I believe this does include you. Yeah, if you live in Rich Mountain, if you live in Black Fork, if you live between Acorn and Black Fork on Highway 59, that takes you over into Oklahoma. You need to be sheltered, and instead of this circulation, there's a tornado warning because of this. This circulation right here. So, to make sure everyone's sheltered, that tornado warning does include parts of west central Arkansas. This does not include the city of Mena at this time. It does not include the city of Waldron or Mansfield. Just a sliver of both Polk and Scott County. Just so everyone is aware, we have tornado watches up for a large part of Arkansas until 7 p.m. And I'll show that to you real quick before we go back and address our storms. Just now went live, so we're just now getting started. If you'll give me just a moment, I'll get my window dragged back over here. It takes me a while. We'll look at those tornado watches real quick. My computer's running pretty slow right now. StormNet tornado probabilities are pretty high for western Arkansas right now. I'm afraid that we could be in for an active few hours here across western Arkansas, the western half of the state. I feel like things have kind of evolved into a risk where tornadoes just seem to be a little bit more common. Whereas in earlier today, I don't know, I just felt like maybe we were going to be okay, but it seems like we never get a chance. Sorry, this is taking me. I want to pull up these tornado watches real quick, and then we'll go back over the tornado warnings. Here we go. So, if you live in the western half of the state, there's a really good chance that you're under a tornado watch. I mean, all the way from Little Rock, so Pulaski County, to Fort Smith, up to Fayetteville, down to Texarkana. I mean, literally every single county west of Little Rock is under a tornado watch. So if you live west of Little Rock, there's no need in asking. You're under a tornado watch until 7 p.m. And the National Weather Service is saying that several tornadoes are likely. And usually when they say that, confidence is high that we're likely going to see a few tornadoes today. I don't know if eastern Arkansas is going to be included in another watch later today. It's possible. We'll just kind of see how storms evolve over the next several hours. But that's kind of where we're setting for the moment. We only have one tornado warning on the board right now. And it's this polygon down here that includes parts of Scott and Polk County. I do want to come up here and address these real quick. We're obviously watching these storms here southwest of Fort Smith. I've been watching these for quite a while. Don't see anything just of the utmost concern at the current time. It's 1:54 p.m. for Fort Smith. But if you live in Fort Smith or the greater Fort Smith region, you do have thunderstorms moving in soon, and those could intensify pretty quick. We have a severe thunderstorm warning that includes parts of northern Crawford, and south central, southwestern Washington County, Prairie Grove, West Fork, and so on. And then we have a strong thunderstorm that's moving towards northwestern Benton County, so Sulphur Springs, Gravette, Sulphur Springs, Gravette, Maysville, areas that's just northwest of Decatur. And this storm had some circulation on it earlier. We'll check it in just a second here. It does look like there still might be a circulation there as well. So that's something to watch closely here over the next 10 to 15 minutes if you live in far northwestern Benton County. You're not under a tornado warning, but we'll see how the National Weather Service handles that. But for now, the only tornado warning in the entire state is Polk and Scott County. And this storm kind of, I feel like, really intensified quick. It went from 0 to 100 pretty quick and produced a circulation that sparked the tornado warning near Smithville, Oklahoma. That circulation is directly over Smithville now. Obviously, Smithville is in Oklahoma, but it's right on the Arkansas border. Don't see anything on the debris tracker. It looks more so just like a stronger circulation right over Smithville. I wish I was in Smithville right now and could see what that looked like. But this circulation, the National Weather Service has this warmed up to the northeast. And that makes sense given the track. Circulation's here. This is going to continue moving off to the east-northeast. My line might not be perfect, but obviously there's quite a few people who follow me from Polk and Scott counties. If you live north of Mena, if you live along Highway 71 or west of 71 or southwest of Waldron, these polygons could eventually include you. And this could eventually impact near and around the city of Waldron, Arkansas. So that's our only tornado warning as of 1:56 p.m. We do have the two other severe thunderstorm warnings in northwest and west central Arkansas. And this is only the beginning, folks. Obviously, if you live in central Arkansas or north central Arkansas near Mountain Home or Mount Olive, hopefully you've been following and watching my timelines. Storms probably don't reach you until later this afternoon. So 3 to 6 p.m., somewhere in there, 4 to 6, 4 to 7. The tornado watches really today are for areas west of this line, so over here. If you're watching this in Jonesboro or Paragould, you're probably not going to get much of anything for the next several hours. It might not be until tonight. So if you have Easter plans and you're trying to enjoy yourself, you're good to go for the moment. Unfortunately, if you live in western Arkansas, especially close to Oklahoma, your time is running out. We have storms moving in now. So we have several storms. This entire system itself is kind of filtering into western Arkansas. And the parameters for tornadoes do look pretty good for the short term. Obviously, we'll see how storms react and how they handle things here over the next a little bit. I do apologize if I sound a little bit odd. I've been sick. Allergies have been killing me, and I am on the struggle bus. But I do want to go and we'll start from top to bottom. I don't cover Missouri, but we have several severe thunderstorm warnings in southwest Missouri. We have a severe thunderstorm warning in northeast Oklahoma that does include parts of Benton County. And this had a circulation on it earlier. It still kind of has what appears to me that appears to be a couplet on it. We're kind of getting into a little bit of a range folding situation here where the radar's having a hard time seeing that, so we might just stay on reflectivity for the time being. But this does include Gravette, Maysville, Sulphur Springs. Does not include Bentonville, Rogers, Lowell, Springdale, anything like that yet. But the storms to the south of there could eventually include those areas. We do have the tornado warning here down in in west central Arkansas, Mena. Does not include Waldron, northern Polk, and southwestern Scott County. And then we have the severe thunderstorm that includes parts of Crawford and Washington County. So if you live in Prairie Grove, if you live south of Prairie Grove, if you live northwest of Mountainburg, not seeing a whole lot there either as far as tornadoes go. This looks just like a stronger storm moving into the area. Not seeing a whole lot of lightning on that, which is pretty interesting. I guess the National Weather Service, this is one of those things where the National Weather Service is banking on there being some strong winds, perhaps some hail as well. Pretty strong storms moving into Fort Smith soon, or near Fort Smith. I don't see any tornado warnings on this. And I don't see any imminent circulations either, which is good. We'll see. That can change fast with a setup like this. But if you live in Fort Smith, if you live in Van Buren, if you live near Van Buren and Alma, if you live in Greenwood, Barling, these storms are eventually going to impact where you live. It's possible that parts of southern Sebastian County could kind of get split in between the two complexes here. As you can see, these storms kind of have an northeasterly component to them. Oh, oops. But right now, our greatest concern in the short term is certainly the tornado warning for Polk and Scott County. Yes, happy Easter, guys. Wish we weren't doing tornadoes today, but happy Easter. We still have a circulation here. This is obviously not in Arkansas yet. It does include parts of our state, so we have to address it accordingly, but they've trimmed the polygon down now to only include Smithville, Oklahoma, a large chunk of southeastern LaFleur County in Oklahoma, and then, of course, northwestern Polk and southwestern Scott counties. So we'll have to watch this circulation close as it moves off to the east-northeast. If you're in Scott County and you're watching this, I wouldn't judge you a little bit I wouldn't judge you any at all, is what I meant to say. If you went ahead and got some of your safe spot stuff ready to go, storm shelter stuff ready to go in case that storm decides to just be cranky for the next hour. Because as this moves off to the east-northeast, it's going to impact more areas of Scott County near Waldron. Perhaps north of Waldron up to likely areas east of Mansfield, maybe even towards Boonville. So we'll see on that. That's our only tornado warning, though, for the time being. We have the two severe thunderstorm warnings up to our north. Now, Christina, there is no tornado warning in Fort Smith. That's way south near Mena. So you're good for Fort Smith. You're good in Fort Smith for now. Now, with that being said, you can see the lightning bolts here. Stronger storm is crossing the Arkansas River now. Is about to go into Fort Smith and into the Fort Smith area. There's quite a bit of lightning on this storm. Might be some gusty winds, but I don't see any. I just checked a few moments ago, and I didn't see any imminent concerns for a tornado. Obviously, that can change pretty quick, but we'll see. But it might be windy when that moves into town. Our warning, only warning, is down to the south near Mena and southwest of Waldron. So. Ben, I hope Northeast Arkansas gets nothing tonight. You've had enough. Anaya is asking about Tawnytown. Nothing in Tawnytown right now, but you've got storms that are moving in here pretty quick. They'll be there within the next 30 minutes at least. You can see we have it zoomed in here on Northwest Arkansas. This activity is moving into the greater Northwest Arkansas region all the way from Winslow up to Bella Vista. So it doesn't really matter where you live in Northwest Arkansas. You're about to get some thunderstorm activity. Some of it could be strong. Let me go down here and check on our Smithville warning, tornado warning. Yep, that circulation's still there, folks. So here's our circulation here. Excuse my drawings, they're usually horrible. So circulation's here. Certainly appears to be strengthening. This couplet means business. So if you live, let's just real quick, let's go ahead and pull up the map, and we'll get down to the nitty gritty and get a little bit more detailed for our Scott and Polk County people. So the polygon does not include. I'm going to circle the circulation. This is the circulation in question. So this is where your tornado would be. All right. Mina's here just for a reference point. Waldron is here for a reference point. Okay, so we all know where Mina and Waldron are if you live in this area. Excuse me. If you live northwest of Mina, near Christ Church at Mountain Fork, if you live near or you are visiting the Queen Willahama State Park, if you're near the Black Fork Mountain Wilderness area, if you plan to or you are currently traveling on Highway 88 out of Mina, which will take you all the way to the Oklahoma border, which switches to Highway 1. That highway, along with 59, goes from here, so all the way through here. So if you live anywhere in this area, you certainly need to be sheltered soon. This storm's moving pretty quick. So if you live between Highway 8, Highway 88, or if you live near Highway 59, mainly west of Akron, northwest of Mina, you have a circulation to your southwest here that could be producing a tornado at any time. We'll check the debris tracker one more time. Hard to say. For now, I don't know if we can definitely say if there's anything on the ground. The circulation here certainly seems to be increasing. So I know that some of you, the sirens might be going off in Waldron and Mina and Hatfield and Cove because of county-based sirens. But I do want to let you know if you live in Mina, for the time being, it's 2:04 p.m., the polygon does not include you, nor does it include the city of Waldron. But if you live on Highway 71 south or north of Waldron, or if you live in Waldron, just know that this is to your southwest and is eventually going to impact you. This storm is going to impact you in time. Still no tornado warning up north, so we're going to stay in on this one for the time being. And that highway, let me make sure on this too. You've got Waldron, Anderson, Hahn, and Winfield. If you've ever been in this area, when you go north of Waldron, you can get on Highway 28. And Highway 28 takes you all the way to Heavener. It's an adventurous drive through a lot of wooded area. Highway 28 runs here to Heavener. So part of that is included in the polygon, but if you live anywhere along Highway 28 west of Waldron, obviously understand that you have a circulation to your southwest that's going to be moving northeast towards your location within the next 30 to 45 minutes. This goes until this warning. I'm going to zoom in on the warning real quick and see if I can get that information. So the National Weather Service, it's moving northeast at 50, and it goes until 2:30. Well, it's already 2:05, so I would guess that in the next 10 to 15 minutes, if this circulation persists as it approaches the Arkansas state line, that they will extend this warning. And I'm as it stands now, I'm sure they will end up doing so. I'm so sorry about the coughing, guys. I've got a Ricola cough drop over here that I might have to drop in just a minute. I do want to go up the line here and update everyone, just so we're all aware. We do have strong thunderstorms from Panama to Muldrow that will eventually include Fort Smith, Arcoma, areas north of Hackett, Van Buren, Cedarville. We have severe thunderstorm warnings for southwestern and south central Washington County here, Lincoln, Prairie Grove, West Fork. So we need to keep a close eye on that. Obviously, wind gusts in excess of 58 to 60 miles an hour plus, along with some hailstones are likely in that storm. And then we have this other storm here moving into northwestern Benton County. I had a hard time seeing the velocity on this earlier. Yeah, this just doesn't look like it did earlier, which is great. Looked like we had a circulation to work with there moving into far northwestern Benton County, but as it stands, just strong thunderstorms moving in with some hail possible. If you live in Fayetteville, if you live in Johnson, Springdale, Lowell, Rogers, Bentonville, obviously a very populated part of our state, you do have storms they're going to be moving in here pretty quick. I'm getting information from the National Weather Service now about our Smithville storm. Obviously, this is of utmost concern for the time being. We do have tornado warnings up to north near Joplin, but that does not include Arkansas. So dropping back down to our tornado warning, this is what we went live for. So certainly want to cover this accordingly. Still have that circulation here. This is the area of interest, and it is about to cross the Arkansas state line. Really want everyone in northwestern Polk County to be sheltered, and far southwestern sections of Scott County as well. Kirsten's asking about Mansfield. Mansfield is not included in the polygon here. Sorry. Mansfield's up here. I'm going to switch back over to reflectivity. It's a little bit easier to see. Mansfield's up here. You're not included in the polygon for now, but we'll see how this storm evolves over the next 20 to 30 minutes. It might go east of you. We'll have to watch that. This is certainly our most impressive storm. This is a supercell here that's moving into Polk and Scott counties. And the storms up to the north, just for the time being, looks... I'm not going to say it looks messy. These storms are organized and have been organized well over the last hour. But this storm is kind of by itself with a thermodynamic and kinematic profile that I would think could support tornadoes. So, in my opinion, over the next hour, unless this storm starts to kind of go the wrong direction, I feel like it has the best potential for tornadoes in the short term. So that's a heads up to those of you maybe in Boonville, Waldron. If you live anywhere in Scott or Logan counties, maybe even far western Yell County, just be aware of this. It's 2:09 now, so within the next hour or two, we'll see how this storm evolves as it moves off to the east-northeast. We now have another severe thunderstorm warning that does include Rogers. It includes Bentonville, Siloam Springs, Gentry, Highville. The thunderstorm being referenced is here. So Siloam down to Watts communities and Westville. And that's moving on to the east-northeast towards Gentry, Decatur, Bentonville, Rogers, Pea Ridge, Garfield, Bella Vista. Large part of Benton County, some of far northern Washington County as well. And I don't think, I haven't checked in just a moment. This is one of those things we might have little kinks in the line where we have circulations where tornadoes spin up quick. These QLCS systems, it's quasi-linear convective systems, you have this long line of what I like to call beans, supercell beans that kind of just form in the line and produce quick tornadoes. They can be a headache to cover. So just a heads up, if you're in pretty much anywhere in Benton County outside of the far southeastern section, you're under a warning for now for severe thunderstorms. And then, of course, we have warnings that go up into northern Crawford and southern Washington County as well. You have a lot of questions about Fort Smith and Van Buren. For now, Fort Smith and Van Buren, no warnings, which is great. I love to see it. I don't live far from Fort Smith, so I don't need bad storms because I'm trying to work right now. I don't need my power going out. But we have Fort Smith here, Van Buren here. We've got, of course, storms moving in here that are not severe at the time. And we'll see if that changes here over the next few minutes. But somebody said, is there anything serious? Well, for now, no. But we'll see if that changes soon. And then, of course, last but not least, our tornado warning in west central Arkansas. That includes Polk and Scott counties. And this circulation is legit. I mean, it really just hadn't went away, has it, guys? You can see, folks, when we're looking at this is called velocity. This is a velocity product, and it allows a forecaster to be able to look at the radar, look at the wind speeds, and see where those winds are going. We've got winds. There's a radar site in Fort Smith, so we've got winds that are going towards the radar and winds that are going away from the radar, so to the north. And when you look at these velocity products and you see these winds sort of bending, you can kind of see the bend here. That's a terrible drawing, but you kind of get what I'm trying to say. That's the storm telling us, like, hey, I'm rotating. That's the easiest way to explain it. So that's why the National Weather Service, when they see stuff like this, they put a tornado warning on it, and that a tornado could be imminent. Don't know for sure if a tornado is ongoing now, but certainly need to take it serious because one could happen pretty quick. Looking at a debris tracker, that's a pretty good distance away. It might be hard to see a whole lot. But this is moving into, it's about to cross the state line. So circulation is about to cross the state line now in Polk County. I called out the locations earlier. I'll do it again in case you haven't been watching. If you live northwest of Mena, near Highway 8, if you live on Highway 88, if you live on Highway 59, from Acorn over the Oklahoma state line, if you live near Black Fork, if you live near, or you are visiting Queen Wellahima State Park, guys, it's Easter. I'm sure there might be somebody up there. You need to be sheltered immediately. You're running out of time. If you are near the the Mountain Gateway Cabin, if you're near the Black Fork Bear Guides, if you're anywhere near the Black Fork Mountain Wilderness or Black Fork Mountain in general, if you're camping or whatever you might be doing and you're listening to this, you could have a tornado headed your way within the next 15 or 20 minutes. So certainly want everyone to be sheltered. If you're at the Christ Church at Mountain Fork, it's Easter. Lots of folks at church today, church activities. You need to be sheltered because a tornado could be moving into your location very, very soon. Like soon. Would need to be sheltered pretty quick. If you know someone, or if you live on Highway 88 or Highway 272 or Highway 59 all the way from Acorn all the way over the Oklahoma state line, if you live on Highway 8, this is obviously a very rural part of our state, but people still live down here. If you know someone who lives here or if you live there, you need to be sheltered. So storms have officially made it into western Arkansas. Obviously, we have 3 severe thunderstorm warnings in northwest Arkansas. Just kind of giving you guys a reset. We have 3 severe thunderstorm warnings in northwest Arkansas now. Parts of northern Crawford County. Fort Smith, Greenwood, you're not under a warning for the time being. It is 2:14. We'll see if that changes soon. Then we have 1 tornado warning here in in Polk and Scott counties. So that's kind of where things stand as of 2:15. Obviously, I know some of you don't live in this area and you're watching and you may be in Little Rock or Conway or Russellville or Mountain Home. Just know that these storms are going to continue east with time. If you live near or west of Little Rock, so just to kind of put your mind at, or not really putting your mind at ease, but we'll just say this. If you live west of this line, excuse me, so west is to the left of the line, you're under a tornado watch until 7 p.m. tonight. So Hot Springs, Russellville, Nashville, Texarkana, Camden, Conway. If you live in Mountain Home, if you live anywhere in western Arkansas, I mean, literally every single county is under a tornado watch. If you live east of Little Rock, especially closer to Memphis, Jonesboro, Dumas, Greenville, Pine Bluff, that area, Stuttgart, Brinkley, you're not under a tornado watch for now. We'll see if they add those later. So I know that some of you might be watching in central Arkansas. You might be up in Mountain Home, or you might be up in Harrison, or you still have some time. If you have family over, if you guys are enjoying lunch or whatever you might be doing, you're okay for now. The imminent concern is here in western Arkansas. So I'm going to check back on my northwest Arkansas storms here. I'm concerned that these storms are going to start rotating pretty bad here over the next hour. I feel like the greatest concern, well, I don't feel like it's straight from the National Weather Service as well. I feel like the best parameter space, and this is going to be a very terrible rough draft drawing, but like this part of our state, I feel like the instability lines up the best. I was looking at some stuff earlier. It's called 3 Capes, so the lowest levels of the atmosphere, the instability is really good there. There's a lot of spin in the air, I feel like, in this part of the state. And the National Weather Service has a pretty expansive 10% tornado risk, a hatched region where they think maybe a strong tornado could occur. And they issue those whenever they have confidence that strong tornadoes are possible. So we have a new severe thunderstorm warning that does include Fort Smith. It includes Cedarville, Van Buren, Alma, Kibler, Rudy, Dyer, Mulberry, Mountainburg, and Chester. So northern Sebastian, a large chunk of Crawford, a sliver of Franklin County. And that's probably for the next, well, it probably goes until 3 p.m., I'm sure. I can hear the thunder outside. I don't live in this polygon. I live close, but I can hear the thunder going off outside. I have to watch this one close. Anytime I see these little kinks in the line, these little kinks and stuff like that, you just never know. They spin up so fast. But So that's kind of, hopefully, after what we just discussed, if you guys, are watching this and you're kind of curious about what's going on, that's kind of a good reset for everybody. Once thunderstorms pass your location today, like once the bulk of the activity is gone, excuse me, I didn't mean to hit my mic, once everything moves off to the east today, so if you're in Fort Smith, you're under severe thunderstorm warning now in Fort Smith. Well, here in about an hour, this line that we're watching now in western Arkansas is going to continue to the east, and your severe weather threat will pretty much go away as the system settles off to the east. I do want to go over our tornado warning real quick here in Scott and Polk County. And this is in Arkansas. So, folks, this circulation just won't go away. Here's your circulation here. And this is northwest of Mena. So Mena is right here. Circling with my cursor. Waldron's up to the north. And this is now approaching Highway 88 and Highway 59. Really hoping that this circulation is getting stronger too, folks. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't have a tornado with this. Like, it may not be on the ground yet, but man, I would consider this to be strong rotation. So I've discussed it at length, but obviously I know that a lot of people are just now joining, especially if they've got tornado sirens going off here in Scott and Polk County. I'm going to check and make sure real quick that I'm not missing any warnings. Okay. So this is our only tornado warning in the state. Let's get down here and zoom in real quick. So I'm going to do my reference circles again. Circulation's here, folks. This is where a tornado would be. Okay, and this is crossing into Polk County. This is northwest of Mena. Mena's here. Waldron, which is in Scott County, is here. Hartford, Sebastian County is there. Just to kind of give you guys a rough estimate on where the circulation is, this is a rural part of the state. Obviously, it's close to Queen Mulahana. I think that's how you say it. I'm sorry if it's not. But the Black Fork Wilderness area, there in northwestern Polk County, southwestern Scott County, this is going to continue moving off to the east, northeast. I do want to let everybody know that I have some thunderstorms moving into where I live. I live in western Arkansas. And my power goes off so easy. So if I lose power, as soon as it comes back on, I'll have live coverage and resume. Hopefully we don't lose power here, but just want to let everybody know. Because sometimes my power just drops with a snap. But this is our only tornado warning as of 2:20 p.m. Really need to take this serious if you live in northwest Polk and southwest Scott County. We have a lot of strong thunderstorms moving into western Arkansas. These storms have really started to mature from Fort Smith up to Cedarville, up towards Prairie Grove and Lincoln, Decatur, Siloam, Gravette, Bentonville, Bella Vista, Rogers. I mean, folks, there's warnings all the way down the line. If you live pretty much anywhere here, you've got strong thunderstorms moving from west to east now, and this is going to continue east with time. Fayetteville, you're up next. Elkins, Winslow, Mountainburg, Alma, Springdale, Lowell. You've got storms all the way down the line. They're going to impact areas to the east. None of these storms are tornado warned. That doesn't mean that they won't produce tornadoes eventually. Hopefully they don't. But just for the time being, we have severe thunderstorm warnings only. It's tough with these little, I swear, it's these little QLCS linear segments of storms. They can kind of spin up fast too. But really right now, I think the biggest concern is strong wind gusts with those storms. As storms move in, the initial wind gust could be quite significant as they move into town. There might be some hail too. I don't think hail today is as big of a threat as it was last night. But I think tornadoes are more of a concern for today. This storm looks like it's lost some of its reflectivity. You can tell it's not as bright as it was earlier, which is interesting. Still quite a bit of lightning with it, though. We'll look at the circulation once again. There is a tornado warning on this storm. But the circulation is still here northwest of Mena. It's getting close to the Scott County line. So if you're watching this and you live anywhere in southwestern Scott County near the Polk County line, there could be a tornado moving in soon. And regardless if there's a tornado or not, I can guarantee you that there's likely some strong winds associated here. So it's one of those things where I would really encourage you, even though everybody does it, don't be outside. Because as the storm moves in, even if there's not a tornado on the ground, that storm can still be quite dangerous. People asking me about Fort Smith. So we have a severe thunderstorm warning in Fort Smith right now. Stronger thunderstorms certainly moving through the area now. It's hard to see on the velocity looking for rotation because the radar site's right here, this little beam between Greenwood and Fort Smith. This is in South Fort Smith. That's where the radar beam is, so sometimes it's hard to see, but it looks like the strongest part of the storm is over Fort Smith now, Van Buren, and up to Cedarville. There's quite a bit of lightning involved. And this is going to be moving towards Alma, Dyer, Rudy, and Mulberry, Mountainburg, and Chester soon. Thank you, Becky. I appreciate that. Nothing going on in Texarkana right now. No warnings or anything, that is. Texarkana is under a tornado watch today. And there are some thunderstorms that are moving into far southwestern Arkansas from Ashdown up to DeQueen. But no tornado warnings, no severe thunderstorm warnings or anything like that. So the biggest concern is certainly to the north. And the higher severe weather threat today, in my opinion, is in this chunk of the state. Like from here. Like we're encountering that higher risk for the day. And it's not, I don't want to confuse anyone. Today's not a high risk like we saw a couple weeks ago, but like speaking from a relative standpoint, the risk is a little bit higher in this region through the next, I will say, 2 or 3 hours. These storms appear to be really maturing and gaining strength from Fort Smith north to Prairie Grove up to Gravette and Bella Vista. It makes me curious what these thunderstorms will do over the next hour or two as they move off to the east towards Harrison, Clarksville, Ponca, Clinton, Mountain Home, Berryville, and so on. Just a reminder, pretty much every single county west of Little Rock is under a tornado watch until 7 p.m. Guys, I got to take one of these Ricolas cough drops. I'm about to die over here. Don't judge. Everyone likes a cough drop every once in a while when they're coughing like crazy. So we do have a new tornado warning, though. It does include Waldron. Really want everyone in Waldron to be sheltered, folks. This is a stronger circulation here. Okay. Now's not the time to panic. I promise. You've done this before. But I do want you to be sheltered. We'll pull out the big map real quick and we'll get real specific on it. I got a lot of followers from Waldron, some good people down in Scott County that support me. If you live in Waldron, if you live in Green Ridge, Oliver, Cawthron, if you live south of Waldron near Bowles, the 28 intersection near Keener or Parks, this does include you as well. Actually hunt on a lease south of Waldron with a lot of really good people. Folks, if you're, those of you, you know who you are, the lease is south of Waldron. If you're watching this, you folks that live in southern Scott County, they're on 71 and need to be sheltered, okay? If you live there near the golf course, if you live in or around the city of Waldron, you should be sheltered. Circulation's here. You have time. You got plenty of time to get sheltered. So, looking at the polygon, we can reference what the National Weather Service has put down. And this expires in 30 minutes, so around 3. And this is moving northeast at 40. Okay, now I just want to remind everyone, I say this every single live stream. We've all traveled down Highway 71. You see a state trooper, you hit the brakes. Okay, well, these storms don't have to do that. They don't get pulled over by state troopers. If this thing's moving at 40 or 50 miles an hour, it's nonstop. You know, they might slow and stop a little bit, but their forward speed's usually pretty consistent most of the time. So if you live in Waldron, just know that this circulation, southwest of Waldron, it's moving off to the east-northeast towards your location. and it's moving at a pretty good clip. There's the last scan. It's obvious. It doesn't take a keen eye to see that the blues and the greens here, we're looking at a velocity chart. So the wind's going to and from the radar site. When they start bending like this, folks, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that we have a circulation here. Now, Mina and Waldron, this area's a pretty good clip from the radar site. The Earth is not flat, it's round, so the radar beam goes up. So we might only be getting mid-level scans of the storm. So it's unknown what's going down here at the ground level. So it's certainly possible that this isn't producing a tornado, but it's one of those things where with the mid-levels rotating, it doesn't take much for this storm to really crank up and produce a tornado fast. That's why we issue the tornado warnings whenever the conditions are imminent. So, and right now, I think it's certainly justified that a warning be issued for this storm as it moves off towards Waldron. Excuse me. Folks, and I still don't have any tornado warnings here in western or northwest Arkansas, but I know that if you live in this area, it probably feels like it's coming a monsoon outside. All the way from northern Benton County into Washington County, Crawford County, and so on. Save my cough drop for later. That's helping me. But this does include this severe thunderstorm warning. We've already discussed this, but from Prairie Grove down to West Fork, Winslow, Mountainburg. If you are traveling on I-49 and you're listening to this, okay, let's say you're near Chester now or Winslow, and you're going south on I-49 towards Alma. I just want you to know that you're about to encounter a pretty nasty storm. Might be some hail in it, lots of lightning. Just want you to be aware. Heavy rainfall. People wreck on 49 every day when it's dry. Just be careful because this is going to be rough travel from pretty much from Bentonville all the way down to Fort Smith. But I really want to address and make sure we cover our tornado warning here in Scott County because this does include a city that's inhabited by quite a few people. Circulation's here, folks. Circulation's right here. I'm going to check my social media real quick. I have a lot of people asking me about places that are nowhere near this. Guys, I haven't done a reset in a minute. I'll do that real quick for you before we zoom back into Waldron. Folks, if you're in Little Rock, if you live anywhere near Little Rock, Hot Springs, Danville, Conway, Greenbrier, Hector, Harrison, Mountain Home, there's nothing going on right now. The storms are in western Arkansas. This is going to continue east over the next few hours. Okay. If you have a question about whether or not you have severe weather chances tonight, I'll put your concern or your questions at ease here. Folks, if you live west of this line, anywhere west of this line, you're under a tornado watch until 7. From Little Rock over to Fort Smith, down to Texarkana, Arkadelphia, Harrison, Russellville, it doesn't really matter. If you live east of Little Rock, you're not under a watch at this time. But for now, every single county west of here is under a tornado watch until 7 p.m. If it's not storming where you are, it's because storms haven't made it to you yet, but they likely will over the next couple of hours. I think central Arkansas will observe this more here in the next 2 to 3 hours, okay? We're just now getting storms from northwest Arkansas down to Fort Smith and Waldron and so on. We do have storms down here too in southwest Arkansas, but no warnings for the time being. So hopefully that helps calm any fears or short-term concerns for the time being. But really, really concerned about my people near in Waldron. We have a strong circulation that it's now crossing the Polk and Scott County line right here. There's the line, the Scott and Polk County lines here. So it just crossed over the Scott County line, and this is moving up towards the Waldron area. And this storm has been rotating now for the last hour and just won't stop. We can look at the debris tracker here. I don't have anything there. I don't know if I have any storm chasers today that are anywhere close to this. Usually I partner up with some storm chasers to help provide some life cover. This is a tough area to chase unless you're on Highway 71. I'm going to switch back over to reflectivity. I know a lot of you are probably in northwest Arkansas, maybe near Fort Smith, and you're wondering what the heck is going on. It's storming like crazy. Severe thunderstorms are moving through the region. So pretty much all of you. If you live in Benton County, if you live all the way down here in Sebastian County, those are strong to severe storms in between moving through. No tornado warnings for now. Our only tornado warnings, or warning, is the storm in Scott County. And you can see this thing has the supercellular shape, inflow notch here, the forward flank expanding out from the storm. Quite a bit of lightning in it. Alita, you're watching a live stream, so it's 2:37 p.m. or excuse me, 2:33 p.m. This is live. Really need everybody in Waldron to be sheltered, folks. If you live in and around Waldron, really want you to be in your safe spots, whatever that might be. If you're in a shelter, or just some reminders real quick. If you live in Waldron, innermost part of your home, put the most walls in between you and the outside. You can put mattresses on yourself. You can put blankets. You can put some helmets on yourself for the kiddos. You might look goofy for just a few minutes, but it could save your life, okay? There's so many ways to protect yourself, but the number one thing is just being in the most inner part of your home, away from the windows, things that can impact you from the outside. And it's not really the wind and the tornadoes as much as the debris, the shrapnel that can hurt us humans. So if you don't have a shelter, I certainly want you to be inside and away from windows. I know that there's probably people in Waldron right now standing outside, looking up at the sky, trying to see what this looks like. But, folks, I really want everyone to be sheltered and be safe here. This is a dangerous storm. You can see the circulation. We loop it here. You can see the wind. See the wind of it? See how it kind of curves back to left? Obviously, here in the northern hemisphere, cyclonic rotation is counterclockwise. It's anticyclonic if it's clockwise, but you can literally see right there. See the bend at the very end? Watch the end of the loop. We're watching the circulation unfold right in front of us. Checking my Facebook, I don't have any reports from Waldron, any pictures or anything like that. Sometimes you never know what you might get from people. So all kinds of severe thunderstorm warnings up in northwest Arkansas, from Alma up to Mountainburg, Chester, Winslow, Fayetteville, Springdale, Bella Vista, Rogers. Folks, I know it's probably coming a storm outside, but for the time being, there is no tornado warnings up there, so that's great. Doesn't mean those storms aren't dangerous, but certainly want to keep everyone inside if you've got severe thunderstorm warnings passing through. Our most concerning storm is here near Waldron. It's getting close to town soon. If you know somebody who lives in Waldron, if you know somebody who's about to be traveling from somewhere locally to Waldron, south of Waldron, north 71 is a main thoroughfare in our state. I would highly recommend calling them and telling them that they need to pull over and they need to take shelter. They need to stop. Highway 71 runs south out of town here and north out of town here. This is Highway 28 that comes to the west. And then there's another highway here. I think that might be 28 as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. But certainly want everyone to be sheltered in and around Waldron. We can look at the Y-City camera on RDOT cameras. That might give us a look to the north of this storm. Just a thought. We'll see what that camera looks like. Excuse me, guys. Kind of hard to see anything on the Y-City camera. There's a camera that's just south of this warning, though, on Highway 71. It's like right in here. that's looking off to the north. Just to give everybody a quick reset. We have severe thunderstorm warnings. Sorry, guys. We have severe thunderstorm warnings from Benton County down through Washington County. It now includes parts of Madison and Carroll County as well. So I just want to give you guys a heads up on that. If you live near Eureka Springs, northwest of Huntsville, if you live in Goshen, those storms are going to continue off to the east-northeast, and they are severe. Okay? We have severe thunderstorm warnings all the way down the 49 corridor from Fayetteville to West Fork, down to Chester, Mountainburg, and then eventually Alma and Van Buren. Strong thunderstorms about to pass 49. If anyone's driving on 49, I can assure you it's probably not very fun right now. Lots of heavy rain, lightning, perhaps even some hail, and we'll watch that for tornado potential in the short term. But for now, we don't have any tornado warnings up there. Fort Smith has strong storms passing through now. The worst is almost beyond Fort Smith. Here in the next 20 to 30 minutes, we should have some clearing there. But our of utmost concern for the short term, it's 2:38 p.m., is the storm near Waldron. And the circulation is getting closer to town. And like I said earlier, there's a good chance that even if this storm is not producing a tornado, when it moves into Waldron, there's a good chance that there's going to be quite a bit of wind involved. So certainly would like for everyone to be inside when it passes through. And these things can spin up so fast. And this circulation, it looks like it's kind of going through a little bit of a cycle. It doesn't look as impressive as it did earlier. But as we all know, it really doesn't take much. So we'll keep an eye on that. Certainly want everyone in Waldron to be sheltered, though. It's 2:40 p.m. right now. And that storm's moving into Waldron pretty quick. That storm's moving to the northeast around 40 miles an hour. Happy Easter, everybody. I really wish we weren't dealing with this today. I know it's annoying, but that's just part of living in Arkansas in April and May and March. We get a break tomorrow. We get a break Tuesday. We should get a break on Wednesday. I haven't really looked beyond Wednesday, to be honest. I've been so fixated on this weekend. It's been a tough forecast. So, someone said the sirens are going off in Sebastian County. I have no idea why the sirens are going off. They shouldn't be going off, so that's a mistake. There is no tornado threat in Fort Smith or Greenwood or Sebastian County in general. So sirens should be going off in Waldron, though. Somebody said the sirens are going off in Waldron. That's good. They need to be going off. Circulation is headed into town soon. Circulation's right here. Okay? I'm zoomed in pretty far, but I want everyone to be well aware of what's coming. We can loop the circulation here just so you can kind of get an idea. Waldron is right here. Here's your circulation. This is headed right for Waldron. May go just north of town. I mean, super, super close, but I certainly wouldn't chance it. If you're in Waldron, I wish we had a camera, or I wish I had a camera mounted in Waldron somewhere, looking off to the west-southwest, like towards 71, that, going south out of town. I'm sure we would have a pretty interesting view of this storm. Yeah, Tyler. I live in Sebastian County as well, and I don't hear the sirens outside, so that's a good thing. Hopefully it was just a malfunction that somebody heard. There's no tornado threat in Sebastian County right now. John, definitely. Yeah, I would be happy to work with you, man, if you're a storm chaser. Anaya says, do we need to take shelter? Anaya, I don't know where you are. Y'all have to leave another comment. Let me know where you are. If you're in Waldron, you definitely need to be sheltered. But if you're elsewhere, let's... Oh, we do have another tornado warning. Okay. So, we have another tornado warning. Sorry, guys. I was focused on that Waldron storm. This is for parts of Madison, Washington, and Crawford County. It does include the city of Mountainburg. It includes the city of Chester, Winslow, The circulation is likely right here. We'll have to look at velocity. It's kind of cluttered, I'm sure. Yeah. Looks like the circulation is passing 49 now. So hopefully nobody's driving on 49 between Chester and Mountainburg. I wonder if we have a... So just to put everyone at ease, if you're in Van Buren and the sirens are going off, please understand that the circulation involved is way north. It's going north of Mountainburg. So if you're in Alma, Van Buren, Cedarville, Rudy, there is no tornado threat where you live, okay? So if your aunt calls you and from Van Buren and says the tornado sirens are going off, whatever, make sure you let them know the circulation's well north of town. It's up here by Chester and Mountainburg and moving off to the east-northeast towards Winslow and parts of southwestern Madison County. So I know the sirens might be going off in Crawford County elsewhere, but the circulation is nowhere near Alma or Van Buren. Obviously, northeast of Mountainburg, northeast of Chester, once again, a pretty rural part of our state, but if you live in Locke, Bidville, if you live in Winfrey, if you live in areas northeast of Mountainburg on Highway 71, over to West Cobb, Highway 23 north of Cass, goes up towards St. Paul. If you live on 295, that 16 interchange from Brashears to Combs, over to the Crosses community, you are under a tornado warning. If you live near Winslow, if you live east of Winslow, off of County Road 38, if you live near S&R Trucking, Sunset Road, near the Miller's Chapel or Terry Cemetery, Winfrey Valley Road, you're under a tornado warning. So that covers, I just discussed several communities in this area that are involved in this. And then, of course, I don't want to forget about our other tornado warning in Scott County. Really want everyone in Waldron to be sheltered, folks. Please be sheltered. Circulation's right here. Okay, this is moving into Waldron. Folks, if you're in Waldron in Scott County, Arkansas, it is 2:44 p.m. on Sunday, April 20th. You need to be sheltered, okay? A tornado could be headed into town soon. Folks, I know the sirens are going off in Van Buren. There's no tornado warning in Van Buren. It's outdated county-based siren stuff is just does nothing, does not help. The circulation in question, the tornado warning is up by Mountainburg, okay? This is moving off to the east-northeast, Chester, Winslow, near St. Paul, Madison, southeastern Washington, northeastern Crawford County. Folks, if you're in Van Buren, Kibler, Alma, Cedarville, the sirens are probably going off, but there is no tornado threat, okay? If you're in Mountainburg, you need to be sheltered. If you're in Chester, you need to be sheltered. If you're in Winslow, you need to be sheltered. If you live anywhere near Winslow or east of Winslow toward the Madison County line, you need to be sheltered. And then, of course, our last warning down here, you need to be sheltered. If you're in the city of Waldron, Dana, when you say it right here, that tells us nothing. Dana, I apologize, but I've been circling everything when I'm talking. I'm sorry if I miss something. If you have a question, I'll be sure to look at the chat and try to help you. But I'm having to weed through a lot of questions from people that are nowhere near this. So sometimes the questions get lost in the mix. Really want everyone in Waldron to be sheltered. It looks like our circulation is kind of organized a little bit. Circulation's right in here, headed towards Waldron. This may pass the city of Waldron. It's going to be close. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be really, really close. Really want my people in Waldron, anywhere near Waldron, to be close, or to be sheltered, okay? Yeah, there's no tornado threat in Alma. Sirens are probably going off, but the tornado threat is to your north. I really don't see a whole lot on that circulation either near Mountainburg and Chester. Perhaps it was a little bit more organized earlier. Joe, if you're in Waldron, you need to be sheltered, buddy. You could have a tornado moving into town soon, okay? If you live northeast of Chester, northeast of Mountainburg, if you live in Winslow, if you live anywhere between Winslow and St. Paul, especially near the Washington and Madison County lines, far northeastern Crawford County, you need to be sheltered. If you're watching this and the tornado sirens are going off in Alma, Van Buren, Rudy, anywhere in Crawford County outside of that northeastern clip here between Mountainburg, Chester, Winslow, and so on, there's no tornado threat. Just strong winds are likely when these severe thunderstorms moving through Crawford or northern Sebastian County. Moving up to northwest Arkansas, looks like the worst of it is passing over Bentonville, Rogers, Springdale, and Fayetteville now. And I'm hoping that this is the last of it. Once this moves off to the east, we'll be okay. But we'll watch for any more development. I doubt we have much. We do have a new tornado warning that includes parts of extreme western Yell County. We have a new warning that includes parts of Logan County. So like we talked about earlier, we discussed this earlier when this storm was down in Oklahoma. Folks, if you're in Waldron, you should have been in your shelter 20 minutes ago. But now's the time for Booneville, Blue Mountain. If you live on Highway 23 south out of Booneville, Highway 23 south out of Booneville connects to Highway 71 right in here. If you live anywhere on Highway 23, you need to be sheltered. If you live, we'll pull out the big map real quick. So the circulation is passing soon over Waldron. Obviously, Highway 71 runs through Waldron. For those of you in the area, you're well familiar with that. Highway 71 runs up to Elm Park, which turns into Highway 23. Right here. 23 goes up into Booneville. So if you live anywhere on Highway 23 south of Booneville going towards Highway 71, you should be sheltered. If you live in the community of Sugar Grove, it's not listed on my map here, but my Logan County people know where that is. If you live in Sugar Grove, southwest of Blue Mountain, southeast of Booneville, Sugar Grove's right in here. You might be at most risk out of this, honestly. It's right in there. That's not exact, but you kind of get the picture. Certainly want everyone to be sheltered, though, if you live in Magazine. If you live on Highway 10, just west or east of Booneville, you should be sheltered because you have a circulation that's to your southwest. It's quite a ways to the southwest. It's near Waldron now. It's here. Certainly want everyone to be sheltered in southern Logan, far western Yell, and northeastern and north central regions of Scott County. Touching base on our other tornado warning, once again, I don't see... The circulation here is not as defined as the one that is down near Scott and Logan counties. With that being said, though, we still have a tornado warning. Still want to take it serious. This is a rough part of our state to really get good data. But if you live northeast of Mountainburg, areas near Winslow, between Winslow and St. Paul, in northeastern Crawford, southeastern Washington, and southwestern Madison counties, you need to be sheltered. Let's go back to the chat and see if I can answer some questions. People still commenting about sirens going off in Van Buren. Good, okay. Good to hear they're not going off in Van Buren anymore. They should have never went off in the first place. Thank you for the report, Ashley. Yeah, no tornado warnings in Fayetteville or Fort Smith. The only tornado warnings right now are these two. The ones for Crawford, northern Crawford, that is, southeastern Washington and southwestern Madison County. And then we have tornado warnings down in Scott, Logan, and extreme western Yell County. So way west of Danville. Sirens are going off in Mountainburg. Yep, that makes sense. I think the worst of it is starting to pass Mountainburg now, but I would stay in your shelter for another 10 or 15 minutes for sure. Tiffany, Elkins is under a tornado watch. Yeah, Washington County is under a tornado watch. But Elkins is not under the current polygon, the tornado warning to the south, but it's close. The tornado warning is just your south. Bailey's in Waldron right now, says it's looking kind of hairy. You need to be sheltered if you're in Waldron. I mean, you could... Wow, look at the hook, guys. You can see it on reflectivity. See it? Classic supercellular appearance here. Got the hook right here near Waldron. Circulations here. It's pretty broad, which is great. Still wouldn't take it for granted. But tornado warning includes the city of Waldron. It includes the city of Magazine, Booneville, the community of Sugar Grove. So my Logan County people need to be well aware of what's coming. Alexander, I do this on my own, but I appreciate it. Brittany, is Springdale okay? Brittany, there's nothing in Springdale right now, I don't think. No tornado warnings, that is. You live in Washington County, though, Brittany, so there's a tornado warning for southeastern sections of Washington County. But the worst of it is passing Springdale to the east now. You have a severe thunderstorm that just passed through, though. Severe thunderstorms passing through. People asking about Alma. Severe thunderstorms are passing through right now, but there's no tornado warning in Alma. It's just severe thunderstorm warning. David, did you send me a report? I've been waiting on some reports here. I'm not trying to ignore the warning up here, but for now, really want people... This storm has just had such a history of rotating. The one near Waldron. We've been watching this one since it passed through Smithville, Oklahoma earlier. David, I don't have any reports on my phone, buddy. On my messages. I'm sorry. I still think that this circulation looks pretty broad. So whenever I say it looks broad, a lot of times when we have a stout circulation, strong circulation, these velocity couplets will look like torqued together. That's the easiest way to explain it. Whereas in right now, I'm going to zoom way in and show you. Look how it's kind of elongated here. I'm not saying it's not rotating at all. It just looks a little bit more broad, which is good. Hopefully we see this trend continue and this storm kind of fizzles out with time, because it's been rotating now for what seems like forever. Still wouldn't take it for granted if you live in Boonville, Magazine, the Sugar Grove community, anywhere along Highway 23 south of Boonville. If you live north and northeast of Waldron, I would certainly be sheltered. And then we have a tornado warning to our north here. Not seeing a whole lot in the way of circulation on this storm, which is good, but we're going to go ahead and address it accordingly. But this is moving off to the east-northeast of Mountainburg and is now east of Winslow as well, mainly impacting southeastern Washington and far southwestern Madison County between Winslow and St. Paul. Now is a good time to give a reset. It looks like we have severe thunderstorm warnings in southwest Arkansas. Let's go over that real quick. We haven't talked about that because of the tornado warnings. We have severe thunderstorm warnings now that are moving into parts of Howard County, Sevier County. It does include a section of Little River County from Foreman all the way up to Dirks. I don't see just a ton here, but this is also a pretty tough area for radar. I want everyone to know down there, I'm watching that. No tornado warnings for the time being, though. All kinds of severe thunderstorm warnings, though, from Bella Vista down to Fort Smith. Those storms are moving off to the east. So, with that being said, it's almost 3 o'clock. It's time to do a reset. Karina, I don't have any confirmation of a tornado in Waldron, just a tornado warning. If you live west of Little Rock today, you're under a tornado watch until 7 p.m. Texarkana, Hope, Gurdon, Glenwood, Hot Springs, Conway, Russellville, Clarksville, Ponca, Harrison, Mountain Home. Areas near and west of Little Rock, essentially, this entire western half of the state, you're under a tornado watch until 7 p.m. It's 3 o'clock now. I feel like storms are moving at a pretty good clip. I feel like we're on schedule. If you're in Little Rock, though, there's probably not a whole lot going on, and that was expected. You know, we're not really expecting stuff to move into central Arkansas until the mid to late afternoon, which, if this continues the same trend, I think is what we're going to observe here. The same goes for north central Arkansas, this part of the state. Obviously storms are here and they're moving off to the east, and they will be there within the next couple of hours. I feel like the tornado risk is highest in this area. I discussed it earlier. I feel like it's kind of this little hub of our state. You know, obviously storms are moving off to the east. Things are clearing off to the west. But from Russellville, Clarksville, Ponca, Harrison, Mount Olive, Mountain Home, Harrison, the I-40 corridor from Little Rock over to Conway, Russellville, is where the better risk for tornadoes is today. So once storms pass your location, the likelihood of tornadoes really starts to go down. So if you're in Fayetteville, if you're in Bentonville, if you're in Springdale, I think a large part of your risk is being chopped way down as these storms move off to the east. I don't think this is going to be one of those days where we have multiple waves of storms. But let's go ahead and reset with our tornado warnings and go over that real quick. We do have a tornado warning. The circulation looks like it's past Waldron now. Yep, so the circulation is past Waldron. It looks a little bit more defined. So right here, so circulation. If you live in the Sugar Grove community, if you live in Boonville, if you live in Magazine, if you live anywhere in southern Logan County, specifically around Boonville and Magazine, you need to be sheltered. So just a heads up on that. And we have a tornado warning here for sections of Crawford, Madison, and Washington County. Don't see a whole lot with this one, folks. If you live between Winslow, which is here, and St. Paul, you need to be sheltered as a tornado warning has been issued. Lots of heavy rain, thunder, and lightning, though, with that for sure. Checking on the information from the National Weather Service real quick. So it looks like they went ahead and issued a severe thunderstorm warning out downstream for our southern circulation, which is interesting. We'll see how they go ahead and handle it. This storm looks like it's getting stretched pretty good, maybe going through a cycle process. But that severe thunderstorm warning goes all the way out to Clarksville, Coal Hill, Scranton, Paris, Havana, so a large part of Logan, Yell, southern Johnson County. So just a heads up on that. If you live in Fort Smith, the worst of it is moving off to your east. Van Buren, same thing. Sorry, guys, I'm all kinds of stopped up right now. I know I sound ridiculous. If you live in western Washington, western Benton County, the worst of it is passing you off to your east, towards Rogers, Springdale, Elkins, towards Huntsville, Eureka Springs, Madison, Carroll, eventually Boone County, Newton County, Johnson County. So you kind of get the drift of how this is going to go today. Storms move through. You have your window of time. The storms continue off to the east. And we have severe thunderstorm warnings now pretty much across the entire section of the state. So, we have severe thunderstorm warnings in the northern tip. This goes all the way up into Missouri, actually. And we have severe thunderstorms down here in southwest Arkansas. I'll touch on that real quick. And this goes for a large chunk of southwest Arkansas. Northern Howard County, down to Sevier County, Little River County, from Wilton all the way up to Dirks. Okay? Our biggest concern, short term, is the tornado warning that includes Scott, Logan, and extreme Yell County. Sirens are probably going off in Boonville. That's good. They should be. Magazine. They might be going off in Paris, too. Paris is not in the polygon yet. Could be soon. Subiaco, Coxville. Just want everyone to be aware that the polygon itself, though, only expands out to here. Circulation is right here. And guys, and it just doesn't, it doesn't look like it did earlier, which is great. Earlier when this was approaching Waldron, I felt like the circulation was quite a bit stronger. So, from Waldron up to Boonville, still want everyone to be sheltered, though. And, if we can get the warning canceled, it's one thing. But for now, the National Weather Service still feels like it's worth the warning. So, I think this storm might be going through a little bit of a cycle, though. The National Weather Service did expand that severe thunderstorm warning all the way out into Yell, Logan, parts of Johnson County. So it kind of makes me wonder if they're going to let the tornado warning expire, which that's 30 minutes from now. So we'll see what they do. But those are our only two tornado warnings as of 3 p.m. Peg, stay in the closet in Boonville. Thank you for taking shelter in Boonville. Let's let this storm pass, and then we'll go back to our business. Grace says, when should Harrison and Mountain Home be worrying? If you're worried about the severe weather threat, it's within the next few hours. No need to worry, though. We got this. It's just, we do this all the time. Just have a plan and be ready. The storms east of Springdale certainly are strong. If you're in Goshen or near Huntsville, Eureka Springs, eventually Berryville, and so on, these storms mean a lot of business coming in. There's quite a bit of lightning in these storms. We'll see if they start rotating as well. But for now, just severe thunderstorm warnings from Benton County into Madison, Carroll, Washington, Crawford, Franklin County. That does include Ozark, the I-40 corridor from Mulberry over to Ozark. Yes, Joy, Little Rock is under a tornado watch. Tori says tornado warning for Boonville. Yep. Sure is. Boonville Magazine, the Sugar Grove communities. We've kind of discussed it at length here, but it's raining pretty hard at my house too. I don't live too far from this area. I'm not in the tornado warning, but I live in Sebastian County over here, so. But it's likely, if you're in Boonville, if you're in Magazine, you are likely hearing lots of lightning, lots of thunder, heavy rain. The circulation is down here, though. It's about to cross the Logan County line in South Logan County. And I do want everyone to know that they have a severe thunderstorm warning that kind of encompasses this out to Havana, Scranton. Doesn't include Knoxville yet. Clarksville, Coal Hill, Paris. So the National Weather Service is basically suggesting that they expect strong to severe thunderstorms to move in regardless if there's a tornado or not. It's quiet in Boonville, just rain. Good to hear. Good to hear. DC, you're trolling me, man. You're trolling me. Guys, it's just part of it. People are concerned and they want to know about where they live and when they could be impacted. That's all good. Yeah, Crystal. Crystal said the temperature drop here in Van Buren is crazy. Yeah, once storms pass through, you'll probably notice a pretty dramatic drop, especially with that rain-cooled air. It got pretty warm and humid today. The sound and picture is off on timing. Kendra, don't tell me that. That's going to bother me for the rest of the night. Everybody was saying that the audio and video... hopefully the audio and video still looks okay, guys. It looks like we canceled our tornado warning there for Washington, Madison, and Crawford County. We had one right here that was by Mountainburg. And that warning looks like it's been canceled. Yeah, you're good in Springdale. Storms have moved out of Springdale. My audio and video is good. Okay, cool. Maybe it's just a Facebook thing. Okay, Jennifer. That's really frustrating, though. Why would it do that? I don't ever have that problem. I don't know. That would bother me if I was watching, honestly. So our only tornado warning in the entire state right now is in Logan County and northern Scott County. And the circulation is not impressive like it was earlier. Still there. Still need to respect it. If you're in Boonville, Magazine, Sugar Grove community, near Blue Mountain, I'd stay sheltered for the next little bit, until we get this warning canceled. But folks, I mean, I'm always going to shoot you straight. And right now, this circulation just does not look like it did earlier. There for a minute, it kind of looks like it was trying to get its act back together, but we'll respect it and we'll cover it accordingly. But yeah, northern Scott, southern Logan County. Look at my map real quick. So if you're in Driggs, somebody commented about the Driggs community, which is just north of Magazine. Magazine's here. Driggs is just north of there. Certainly wouldn't judge you for being sheltered already. You're not included in the warning polygon just yet, but it's close. The circulation's down here, so if you're in Driggs, just keep an eye on the storm. Yep, Tyler, you're clear in Fayetteville. The storms have passed you. So hardly raining in Rogers. Yeah, that storm's probably passed you up in Rogers. Somebody asked about Ola. Ola's over here to the east in Yell County. Nothing in Ola yet. The storms are still to your west. So thanks, Kathy. I appreciate it. Maybe somebody that made that comment, maybe they were just having some audio or something issues. That was the first comment I'd seen about it, so. Oh, it's YouTube too. Oh, never mind. Whatever. I'll have to fix it later. Looks like they canceled our warning, though. So, our Logan County warning, if you are in Boonville, Blue Mountain, the Sugar Grove community, the warning that I've been talking about for the last 20 minutes or so has been canceled. So as of 3:07 p.m. on Easter Sunday, we are tornado warning free. I don't know how long this will last, but we're tornado warning free. I'm going to put my cough drop back in my mouth. I'm tired of coughing. Tina, I'm good. Thank you. I don't think anybody's been hating on me. Everybody's been pretty nice so far. Thank you so much. So just to kind of give everybody a reset, is we have severe thunderstorm warnings from the Missouri-Arkansas border all the way down to Texarkana-ish area, southwest Arkansas. So basically from here to here. So if you live in areas east of here, so if you live anywhere here, that's a big chunk of the state. I included some of Missouri for some reason. If you live in Russellville, Danville, Leslie, Clinton, Harrison, Mountain Home, Conway, Little Rock, Hot Springs. I mean, guys, I could name off every community. These storms are going to move east. It's 3:08 now. We still have storms moving east. That's kind of what the vibe is with today. As storms move off to the east, we'll kind of just have to go through each time segment. You know, if you live in Little Rock, you really haven't had anything today. You eventually likely will have some storms in the area in the next couple of hours. Same in Conway, Russellville a little bit sooner, Clinton, Leslie, Harrison, probably a little bit sooner, but it's 3:09 now, so we still have quite a bit of time. Even if there's not a tornado that moves into your location, you could still have strong winds. We've had some of these storms today have produced small hail. We've had strong wind gusts. Somebody said earlier that their power was out, maybe in northwest Arkansas and Springdale. Said that their power was out because of the winds that moved through. And that could happen more with time tonight. In all reality, the tornado risk is highest kind of in this part of the state. So our window is from now till, I'd say, between 7 8 p.m. I don't know what the National Weather Service is going to do with this east of Little Rock, because if you're in Jonesboro or Newport, Wynn, you're not under a tornado watch. I would hope that we don't have any issues in that part of the state. I think instability might be a problem. Storm fuel is not as good over here. At least it was not being modeled as good. So I'll check my reports real quick, guys. The amount of questions I'm getting of people about the sirens, that's crazy. Crazy. I really wish we could get the county-based siren stuff, because I'm getting messages from people who live in Mulberry. Obviously, Van Buren's a pretty populated area. The sirens were going off in Mulberry, Van Buren, Alma. And the tornado warning was way northeast in northern Crawford County. I wish we could fix that, because I feel like that creates a boy who cried wolf syndrome, to where we hear the sirens go off and nothing ever happens, and then unfortunately it does happen. That's my 3:11 p.m. rant. I'm sorry. I wish we could fix county-based sirens and make it more efficient to where people got warnings. Because if you're not in the polygon, you don't have anything to worry about. You know what I mean? Look at our storm up here that's moving out of Madison County towards Carroll County. It looked like there was a little bit of a circulation there. Yeah. So my attention is sort of turning to these storms here in northern Arkansas. Eureka Springs, Oak Grove, Blue Eye, and Beaver. You're under severe thunderstorm warning. It's a large part of Carroll County. Northern Madison County from Hinesville north. And then, of course, all the way from Huntsville down to St. Paul, you've got strong storms moving in as well. Lots of lightning. Probably plenty of thunder and heavy rain. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Amanda, I get it. I wish they would fix it. That's something that needs addressed. Unfortunately, we still live in a society where people depend on sirens for tornado warnings. And that's just, it's outdated technology. I'm not a fan of it. I get fired up about it, but I don't want to, y'all aren't here to listen to me complain about it, but just saying. And yes, I'm eating a cough drop, guys. Sorry, allergies are horrible. I've been coughing like crazy. Yeah, Shelly, I think I'm going to stay on for another 15 or 20 minutes here and make sure that these storms don't try to be, goofy and start spinning. Generally, I don't do live coverage for just severe thunderstorm warnings. Not that I don't care about them, but if I did do live coverage, I would be on here literally all the time. I try to do tornado warnings only. But I do want to keep an eye on this storm that's moving off to the northeast into Carroll County and near Eureka Springs, Berryville. Just to give everybody a little bit of an idea, I can show you guys real quick the SPC, the risk guidance for today. We've had several tornado warnings. It's kind of went how I thought it would. We've had several tornado warnings. Hopefully we don't have any more. I'm sure we probably will. But this is the tornado outlook for today. So I want you to look at the radar. I can put this on here and kind of show you guys. The highest risk for tornadoes today is in this area. From Conway up to Batesville, Mountain Home, Harrison, Russellville, and Fayetteville. Okay? This is a hatched region. The yellow shading with the black hatch. That's indicative. The National Weather Service thinks that there's a potential for maybe a strong tornado or two. It's generally reserved for days where the tornado risk is a little higher than normal. Nothing we have never seen before, but certainly not a low risk day, if that makes sense. I always kind of put it at like a medium. There's low, medium, and high. This is like a medium-ish day. So, last night was a lower risk day. The day before was a lower risk day. Today's kind of a medium. So, obviously, if you're in Fayetteville, you're included in that, but the storms have moved off to your east. If you're in Bentonville, the storms have moved off to your east. So now we're really focusing on Harrison, Ponca, Pendle, down to Russellville, Morrilton, Conway, Valonia, Heber Springs, Mount Olive, Horseshoe Bend, kind of this part of the state. This chunk. And we have storms that are moving east now. We'll just kind of have to see how these storms evolve. Bobby Flippin's not under a tornado warning. I think you mean a tornado watch. You're under a tornado watch in Flippin, but not under a tornado warning right now. Yeah, happy Easter, guys. I wish we were not dealing with this today, but happy Easter. We were able to go to church this morning and go have lunch, so that was nice. I've got people commenting on old live streams, maybe confused about old stuff. Yeah, Bobby. Yep, Flippin's under a watch. Tornado watch. Ozark's not going to be dry for long. Yeah, if you're in Lowell, you should be good. Yeah, Ozark's not going to be dry for long. Ozark's here. You've got plenty of storms to your west headed in now. Judging by the reflectivity scans that I'm looking at, the Boonville storm is still, it still has quite a bit of color to it. But from St. Paul up to Huntsville and Eureka Springs, this stuff looks like the most organized. Andy, Howard County was under a severe thunderstorm warning earlier, but it looks like a lot of the activity is moving through now. It's going to pass off to your east soon. Lil, I can't say that you're in the clear in Harrison because storms haven't made it. If you're in Harrison and Boone County in general, storms are still to your west. So I can't give you an all clear. I'm sorry. We still have about an hour or so before storms make it to you. Hot Springs is under a tornado watch until 7 p.m. Garland County. Bad wreck going northbound I-40. I figured after that, those storms moved through, we would have some wrecks on 49. Hopefully everybody's okay. 49's a mess when it's dry. I can't imagine storms like that. Yeah, absolutely, Shelly. Andrea, Wynn and Cherry Valley are not under a tornado watch. We'll see if they extend that later, but for now, you're not under a watch. Giving everybody a reset, kind of what's going on. It's 3:18 p.m. We do not have a tornado warning at this time. I'll check my phone real quick. I don't know what's going on with that. We do not have a tornado. Sorry, guys. I was looking to see if I had any social media reports of storms. We do not have any tornado warnings as of 3:19 p.m. We have severe thunderstorm warnings, though, all the way up in northern Arkansas between Bentonville and Diamond City. And this goes up in Missouri, too. But basically from here all the way down into southwest Arkansas. And this activity is going to move off to the east. So we have tornado watches for every single county west of Little Rock. So that's a huge area. Hot Springs, Russellville, Conway, Leslie, Clinton, St. Joe, Ponca, Harrison. I mean, you could go until I lose breath and name off every community. You're under a tornado watch until 7 p.m. As the storms move off to the east, your area should clear. So if you're in Fort Smith, Greenwood, Mena, Waldron, Springdale, Rogers, your tornado risk has dropped off a cliff. These storms are moving off to the east now. When storms settle into your area and pass through, the clearing should occur after the fact. I have some people asking about southwest Arkansas. We have a severe thunderstorm warning. We haven't really had a whole lot of problems down there. A large part of southwest Arkansas is under a tornado watch, so we're going to have to watch that area here over the next hour or two. But for now, just some stronger storms ongoing, specifically the I-30 corridor. Oh, guys, allergies, pollen is just killing me. Absolutely killing me. Christian says, do you see storms intensifying around Central? Christian, I really think that storms will maintain into Central Arkansas, but I'm not sold completely that storms are just going to go on some huge intensification process. I feel like the severe weather risk is a little bit higher in North Central Arkansas today rather than Central. Yeah, the pollen's, it's trying to take me out. I'm convinced that the pollen in 2025, it's trying to take me out. I've been sick for like 2 weeks. I take medicine every day. I don't know. I guess I'm just not doing something right. But we do have severe thunderstorms moving into Carroll County now. Eureka Springs, Berryville, Green Forest, Oak Grove, and Blue Eye. It's probably storming like mad from St. Paul down to Huntsville. So Highway 23 runs up out of Ozark. Ozark is about to get theirs too. The I-40 corridor from Knoxville, Lamar, Clarksville, all the way over to Mulberry. Stronger storms moving through. And then we have our storm that produced the tornado warnings earlier near Boonville, Blue Mountain, Paris, Subiaco. Just not a whole lot there, guys. So that's great because that storm was really rotating earlier. I think what I'm going to do is, Larry's asking about Northeast Arkansas. Yeah, Northeast Arkansas is not under a tornado watch. So if you live east of Little Rock, in this part of the state, there is no tornado watches right now in eastern Arkansas. So we'll see what happens later tonight. Storms will move into the region probably after 8 p.m. But I feel like they will be on a weakening trend for sure by then. At least I hope. Northeast Arkansas needs a break. Try eating a spoonful of natural honey every day to clear up your allergies. Okay. Michelle, switching. I'll probably do that. That might help because I've been taking Claritin quite a bit and I feel like it does absolutely nothing. Ivan, there's some stronger storms moving into Ozark, but no tornado warnings, brother. Might just be noisy. Guys, I think what I'm going to do, famous last words, it's 3:23 p.m. We don't have any tornado warnings. And I don't generally just provide live coverage for severe thunderstorm warnings. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop off and try to get a couple things done in the house here. And if we have more tornado warnings, I'll hop back on, restart the live stream like always. And I'm going to do that through the evening. You know, if we have tornado warnings, I plan on being live. Let me look at the storm one more time before I go. I hope I don't have to get back on here and go live. But we all know how that goes. I'm going to go get some more water. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to hop off, go use the restroom real quick, go get some water. And I'll hop back on if we have any tornado warnings. Guys, happy Easter. I know that this sucks that we even have to worry about it. But hopefully we don't have any more issues tonight and we can all just enjoy ourselves and have some storms pass through and that's it. So I will catch you guys later if need be. My name is Zachary Hall, otherwise known as the Arkansas Storm Tracker. Big shout out to Arkansas Online Lawyer for sponsoring my live feed. They're my go-to e-service attorney office in the state of Arkansas. If you need legal assistance, it's accessible to any Arkansan. Visit aronlinelawyer.com. And then, of course, 1312 Cleaning and Restoration. If you have any sort of disaster in your home, anything you can imagine that you need clean services or just help in general, 1312 Cleaning and Restoration is who you should call. They're fantastic people. So I'll catch you guys later. And